You keep saying that like we haven't given it the appropriate reaction, Matt, and I think we disagree with you.
Welcome to season 6, where we're phoning it in.
You don't think critically and then put a Pop-Tart into your body. I am highly caffeinated and minorly concussed.
Aruga!
What came first, the love sack or the gravity gun?
It's my turn to do a sin with Sonic.
This is for the freaks.
Too much piss.
That's the kind of bad decisions
We like to hear about. Love me a sleepy ass bat.
How much shrimp can you fit in your mortal body?
You told me you guys would be cool.
That's season 6 intro material right there.
Hello and welcome to Debate This. In this show, we take time out of our busy adult lives to talk about comic books, video games, and how Baldur's Gate 3 has made the Cleric and Druid cantrip Guidance the most powerful spell in all of Dungeons & Dragons.
Show your work.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, elaborate, please.
It is a pretty good cantrip.
It's a pretty good cantrip.
Cantrip.
I always forget that it exists, but I've also never played a Cleric or Druid, so that's probably why I forget that it exists.
You have to have one person on your team committed to just effectively saying, hey, I'm helping.
Being a guidance mule.
Hey, so for those of us who don't know what guidance is, go ahead, nerd.
I will explain,
No,
Matt.
we're gatekeeping here today, Matt. I'm sorry.
Guidance is a cantrip. It is a free spell for anyone who hasn't played 5e. Guidance is a cantrip that druids and clerics can do, and it adds 1d4 to any ability check, any one ability check. But in Baldur's Gate 3, what they did is they made any ability checks, like you roll like an interactive d20 on the screen, and you can add all of your bonuses. So it shows you like, here's your proficiency bonus, here's like anything else, any other bonuses. If you have somebody in your party with guidance, which, spoiler, your first party member is a cleric who gets guidance automatically, it just is like, would you like to add guidance? Yes or no? And like, why wouldn't you say no? It's made a lot of people very acutely aware of the cantrip Guidance, which I find it's kind of fun.
That's good.
Man, it sure is a good thing I'm playing a druid in the campaign Todd's DMing. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, and
this
you've never
week.
used guidance before.
Matt's not used a cantrip before.
That's
so
true. Matt doesn't
That's
know what a
not
cantrip
true.
is.
I have Thorn Whip.
Cantrip sounds like a Midwest colloquial term for going to the grocery store.
Oh, I was going to say it's what you call, like, when you refinish your floors and they don't line up the living room with the kitchen and there's a gap. It's a cantrip.
Cantrip. I was going to say
Okay,
it is an old Western phrase for politely saying you're going to the bathroom.
Perfect.
All right.
We've gone around the world in 80 puns. Guys, this July, the world all collectively bore witness to the newest serial installment of the MCU, which was Secret Invasion. The Thorn Whip of MCU shows, may I add.
I'm offended on behalf of Thorn Whip.
Yeah. And by the world, I mean, of course, the 15 people who actually watched it, including the 4 of us who did so because we had to record a podcast about it. Now, all 15 of us here on planet Earth got to collectively experience, spoiler alert, Don Cheadle being the most obvious third act villain reveal since Prince Hans in Frozen, Emilia Clarke's beefy Trogdor arms, and most importantly, I got Matt.
Oh, I was drinking, and I was not ready to relate Emilia Clarke's beefy arm to Trogdor, but that is...
I wish I would have
chef's
thought
kiss.
of this 2 weeks ago, but here we are. And, of course, most importantly, the reintroduction to Skrulls as a hidden menace to the future of humanity. Regarding that last one, we here at Debate This, public relations / marketing or advertising or whatever LLC, have decided that we need to get the word out about Skrulls more effectively than the MCU did, since Bobby Iges is too busy trying to bankrupt all his writers.
And sell Disney to Apple, apparently.
Oh, yeah, and sell Disney to Apple, I guess. So I've called in the PR or marketing or advertising or whatever experts.
All the same
to
thing.
assist-
Yes.
they are on the same thing. To assist with this pro bono campaign. Please welcome pro-union freelancers Matt, the Faceless Man Cole, Kyle, number 6 Harper, and Todd Doo-Doo Thomas.
We're all Todd Doo-Doo Thomas after this weekend.
Deep down.
These
Are
are
these-
facts.
All movies about shapeshifters.
These are all characters who are shapeshifters. Yes, but in different contexts. So the Faceless Man, fuck, I forgot what that was. I wrote this 2 weeks ago. Hold on.
I refuse to cut this out.
No, that's Cell saying. And the Faceless Man is the guy from Game of Thrones. He's the guy that Arya Stark meets. Yeah. That's what that was. Number 6 is one of the Cylons in Battlestar Galactica. She's like the first Cylon that looks like a human. And then Dudu is the shape-shifting character from The Witcher 3.
Ah,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I remember.
He's
that
a
was the
doppel.
only one I got.
He's a Doppler. Doppelganger. Bad news, guys. Nick Fury just broke into my house and drank all my expensive whiskey and is now telling me there are super scary shape-shifting aliens hidden everywhere, even in our most favorite video games. That's weird. Anyway, to get the word out,
weird. He specifically mentioned video games.
hey, I don't know what Nick Fury. He's got all the answers, man. I don't know. So to get the word out, we need to publish a sequel to a beloved video game that informs people about the Skrull threat. So tell me, which game are you creating a sequel for, and which mainline character or characters will be revealed as having been Skrulls the whole time? Don't forget to mention what shifty things they've been doing lately to arouse suspicion. Matt, what you got?
Andrew, in the year of our collective lords 2023,
Oh, this is going to be good.
it's time we give Nintendo fans what they've been begging for years. No, it's not Mother 3. It's also not Isaac and Smash. And no, it's also not Joy-Cons that don't drift. Andrew, 2023 is the first year since 2016 that we give gamers a Starfox game.
Wow.
Now, Starfox is, of course, one of the most beloved series in all of gaming, and the announcement of a new game in the series will certainly get the world's attention. But you're right, Andrew. The Skrulls are a threat, and we need to get as many eyes and ears on this release as possible. A simple, quote, new Starfox game simply won't drum up the buzz that we need to make a real impact. But, Andrew, when we tell the world that we are making a new 3D open world adventure based Starfox game in which you'll definitely fly in space a couple of times, people are going to lose their fucking minds. Our new game will see our hero Fox McCloud return to Dinosaur Planet with his smoking hot and definitely not underage girlfriend Crystal. They've come to respond to a distress signal sent to them by Chief Tricky, who says he's hiding out with the Sharp Claws and that aliens who look like dinosaurs are trying to capture him.
I hate that I know what you're talking about.
Players will recall that Prince Tricky was the Fee-esque companion from the first game and will also likely remember the Sharp Claws as the bad guys. Players may also say that technically the inhabitants of Dinosaur Planet are aliens that look like dinosaurs. But that would be a stupid thing to say. The big reveal of the trailer will be Fox and Crystal walking into the Krazoa Palace Castle and finding Chief Tricky standing beside General Scales, looking down at a Skrull General Scales. A Skrull General Scales.
Oh
no! Thank you. A General Skrulls, if you will. They'll explain that the fake general has been working with a fake Queen Cloud Runner. Now, look, if you don't remember Queen Cloud Runner, that's okay, but she was the queen of the flying dinosaurs.
Sure. I think about as many people played Star Fox Adventures as watched Secret Invasion, so we're good here.
Weirdly enough, the same 15 people.
Kyle, I would argue with you that maybe 15 people made it past the first cutscene, but way more bought the first Star Fox Adventures.
Sure.
Anyway, General Skrulls has been working with fake Queen Cloud Runner to capture and replace dinosaurs from all 3 tribes on the planet. No one knows where the real Queen Cloud Runner is, but they caught General Skrulls calling in updates and reports to someone known as Commander on a distant starship. Now that is weird because, one, General Skrulls is a lizard on a pirate ship. Why would he call into space? 2, he is like the fascist ruler of the dinosaur planet. He would never answer to somebody else. unless you played the first game, and spoiler alert, in the first game he answers to somebody else, but that's not important right now. He would never answer to somebody else. So it's really weird. And they're like, that General Skrulls is fake. And then they kill him and he's a Skrull. So General Skrulls, General Scales, he's been a Skrull the whole time.
Oh no!
Okay. If you say General Skrulls one more time, I might lose my mind. Yeah.
You are going to get at least one more answer worth of General Skrulls.
Cool. Kyle, what about you?
Yeah, Andrew. So we are busting this case, this mystery, this secret wide open with details hidden in our latest Sonic the Hedgehog entry, the latest entry in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise.
Great.
So, Andrew, I regret to tell you that in our latest entry to the Sonic the Hedgehog video game franchise, we will explore something that longtime fans of the Speedy Blue Hedgehog have long suspected, that the being presented to us as Sonic the Hedgehog, quote unquote, is not who he seems to be, but is in fact an invader from an alien planet disguised as the radical azure mammal. You see, friends, as the 90s wound down, our extreme friend had a realization that so few stars of his caliber do. His star was fading. The 90s were over. We weren't into as many rad things as we were a decade before.
Sure.
And with the commercial failure of the Dreamcast, he decided to hang his running shoes up on a high note following the critically acclaimed success of Sonic Adventure. So he could enjoy the luxuries and successes and maybe open a themed chili dog stand to keep himself going into retirement in a few years. But in Sonic's retirement, the Skrulls, working with Dr. Robotnik, I guess, found opportunity. One night, as Sonic drafted his retirement announcement, the Skrull forces apprehended him and assumed his identity, hoping to use it to gain influence over a generation of fans, and eventually the 7 Chaos Emeralds, granting them the power to conquer their enemies and colonize a new planet for their people. However, the swap was not handed perfectly. Skrulls just can't replicate ratitude of this level, of this caliber. Our first clue should have been Sonic and the Secret Rings, which was a Skrull attempt at soft launching their shape-shifting ability into the franchise, hoping fans would accept a skill tree system in their speed-running games. The next two entries, Sonic Unleashed and Sonic and the Black Knight, further tried to get fans to accept this imposter, but real fans knew something was off. The real kicker, what really should have clued us in to the alien threat among us, was when the mask really started to slip in the run-up to the 2020 movie Sonic the Hedgehog. What we all assumed was a bad character model designed by animators who were only given a description of Sonic scrawled on a diner napkin was actually the Skrull agent Sonic trying to hold the Sonic disguise in public after years out of the public eye.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
Sonic.
stop.
That got me. That was good.
Sonic.
I like
Can
that
you-
very much. Thank you.
Can you spell that for... Is there a K on the end of Sonic? That's my question.
Don't you worry, my whole answer is getting dropped into the chat here. There is a apostrophe in there and a K at the end, yes.
So, Kyle, are you insinuating that every
Every bad Sonic
Weird
game
and-
is a Skrull attempt, yes.
is a Skrull attempt?
Yes.
You said it. All right. There it is. All right. Well, that's honestly that's something. That is absolutely something. Todd, hopefully what you give is not weirder and hornier than past
I would
answers.
never do that to you, Andrew, my friend. So let's start with the answer to your question is the game that has been infiltrated is one of the greatest Game Boy Colors of all time, Mario Tennis. That's the what.
Okay.
Now, I need to tell you the why.
I have a bad feeling I know the answer to this.
Yeah, that's a pretty big giveaway so far. You see, Nick Fury breaking into your house is only the second most alarming thing in this moment, because he tells you that we got to get these Skrulls that he promised to help find their home and failed. Well, now there's a bigger problem, and he's describing all this to you, and you're left wondering, well, even if they've infiltrated our most beloved video game properties, why would I, Andrew Henderson, why would I care?
Mm-hmm.
And that question that you ask is answered with an astute voice from the darkness saying, well, because the Skrulls have a master plan to make everything way more. And there's this really long, pregnant pause. And like a little bit of smoke comes out of this character, like they're taking a drag on a long cigarette, and they go, pervy. And out of the shadows steps this lithe, long individual with a angular mustache and a purple hat with an upside down backwards L on it. A character we know as Waluigi. But it's the real Waluigi.
The description live is really just, that is sitting with me in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's hitting you bad.
Yeah.
He is angular. And here's the thing. This is the real Waluigi. We find that there is a Skrull Waluigi out there. And you would ask the question of, what's the things that have been done that brought upon us this suspicion? That's the thing. Nothing. That all the actions of the Waluigi that we've come to know, the stepping on people, like stomping on them, flexing, but when he flexes, he lifts his leg up to show his buttocks in these real drastic angles. All these things don't cause any suspicion because that's the Waluigi we've come to know. But in reality, Waluigi is a refined gentleman. And he goes on to tell you that, well, unfortunately, there are even more that have fallen to this same fate, as he angularly sits down next to Nick Fury on your couch.
Todd, do you mean to imply to me that refined gentlemen don't enjoy stepping on people? Is that...
Not like Waluigi does.
Is that voice that you're doing, are you saying that's Waluigi's voice?
Yeah, it's his real voice.
Oh, so he's not trapped in a basement in Chernobyl?
No, this is the real Waluigi is here now. He's broken out and he's here.
Oh.
And he sounds like that voice.
Like a refined gentleman.
Okay.
But he looks like Waluigi. He just doesn't.
But
is
he
Waluigi.
still looks
Okay.
and is Waluigi, but he sounds like a gentleman.
I mean, the Skrull looked like Waluigi. This is Waluigi.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
I just kind of always assumed his vocal cords were the same shape as his mustache. And I don't think he would sound like that if it was true.
The Skrulls keep their vocal cords in their mustaches, so that's why that's part of this.
Fun Skrull anatomy lesson for you.
Oh,
Matt.
cool. All
Yeah.
right. Thank
Yeah.
you for clarifying.
Nick
You're
Fury's furiously nodding his head. So, well, in between explaining vocal cord anatomy and asking me to go get him more snacks, Nick Fury is going on and on about how Skrulls have these like really intricate plans that shape slowly over the course of years. Something about, ingraining themselves in all stages of government, waiting for the day to strike, like shape-shifting sleeper agents. So tell me, what is the long and drawn-out plan for world domination your Skrull doppelganger will reveal over the course of the first and second acts?
Yeah, Andrew. Simple question, easy answer. Obviously, as this is a Starfox game, the bit here is to dominate and control the Lilat system. But I'm sure you're wondering how the Skrulls plan on doing that. Well, throughout the game, we, the players, will see cutscenes of both new General Skrulls as well as Skrull Queen Cloudrunner reporting to a projection screen we only see from behind. They'll give updates on how many of their species have been replaced with Skrulls, as well as how they're well into the process of disrupting the economy of Dinosaur Planet by replacing its barter and trade system with a fiat currency minted by the Dino Planet leadership. But Act 2 will end when it's revealed that the Skrull commander has actually been Slippy Toad. Slippy Toad is a Skrull.
Of course.
And has been a Skrull the whole time. See, he's been a Skrull for years, ever since he went off at the beginning of Starfox Command to marry a girl named Amanda. He's actually
He
back
gets
as a
married.
Skrull. Yeah, Slippy gets married in late game, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
So he's been a Skrull for years, and he has been trying to manufacture a reason for Team Starfox to interact with Andros ever since. Now, you might think to yourself as the player initially, man, that's a cheap reveal. You didn't give me anything to know that Slippy was a Skrull, but I raise you. Ever since Star Fox 64, Slippy got way better at being a Star Fox pilot. Like, way better. If you watch the intro Star Fox cutscenes of Adventures, he's fixing robots. He, is listening to metal music. He translates other languages.
Two key aspects of being a pilot: fixing robots and listening to metal.
Well, and I mean, obviously, first off, they're prerequisites. Yeah, and he is really confident. He just gets really confident after Star Fox 64, and that to me is a giveaway that something has changed in a person. We never saw Slippy Toad go to therapy.
He's getting some of the old Slippy.
So
That sucks,
you said
Kyle.
he got married, right?
He does. He gets married in the DS one.
that sucks. That super sucks. I don't like that you've put that in the same podcast where someone was described as live.
General what is it? Skrulls?
General Skrulls?
General
Yeah.
Skrulls is still
Skrulls.
the biggest sin committed so far.
Oh, get ready. Anyway, Scrippy Toad has been trying for years
No.
to
I was
manufacture
not ready for Scrippy Toad.
an interaction between the Star Fox team and Andros, because Scrippy thinks that if he can get in a room with Andros, he'll be able to turn himself into a giant Skrull head and hands. A giant Skrull head and hands, Andrew. Then he'll be able to use Andros's power to defeat Star Fox and conquer the Lilat system. But he first had to lure Fox and his team somewhere so they could destroy the real Andros, because Scrippy Toad is just Scrippy Toad. He's not going to destroy Andros. That's Star Fox and Falco shit. So he's put it all together, and he's demolished the barter and trade system of Dinosaur Planet, and he's going to become a giant Skrull head and hands.
You keep saying that like we haven't given it the appropriate reaction, Matt, and I think we disagree with you.
I really like the Skrull head and hands. I think that was for me.
I'm playing to the moderator, man. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you do.
Also, come on, Scrippy Toad's pretty good.
I
Scrippy
don't want
Toad
you to
is
say it anymore.
Scrippy Toad is pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Boy, oh boy. Kyle, what sins are you going to be committing with Sonic?
Yeah, it is. It is my turn to do a sin with Sonic, I guess. So, Andrew, in our game, which will be a Sonic Adventures 3, if you will, fans are going to be cycled through different facets of our reveal from the points of view of different characters. A Rashomon type reveal in our Sonic Adventures game.
Okay.
We will open on a downhill speed level, not much unlike City Escape from Sonic Adventures 2. However, this time, players will be playing as Shadow the Hedgehog, running with one of the Chaos Emeralds he lifted from Dr. Robotnik. As the level nears its end, Shadow will be joined by the Blue Speedster, noticing that Shadow is getting tired, losing his speed, about to get caught. And just as he is caught by Robotnik's forces, Shadow goes against his better judgment, hands the emerald over to his fellow Hedgehog. Except Sonic doesn't keep running. Sonic, having obtained the crystal, just stops. In fact, Robotnik and all his forces stop as Sonic takes the emerald and turns to the egg-shaped scientist. Pinned to the ground by a robot arm, Shadow looks on as Robotnik thanks Sonic for returning the emerald to him, monologuing about how close their plan is to completion. Shadow can't believe what he's hearing as Sonic confirms that they are just one Chaos Emerald away from taking over the planet for a new colony for something called Skrulls, which Shadow's never heard of before. As he is shackled, drugged, and loaded into a transport, Shadow swears he sees something impossible. Where Sonic once stood, holding the same emerald he once held, now stands a human-sized green alien. Sonic, the Skrull. This being our opening level and first cutscene of Sonic Adventure 3, Sonic Secrets.
Look, okay. I know some of our patrons can see the notes, but if you can't see the notes right now, every time Kyle says Sonic, it's written SON''NIK. And that is a crime that is not going to be appreciated on an audio medium.
Yeah, everyone needs to thank you for putting that out into the realm, Matt.
As Kyle said it the fourth time, I actually stopped listening and went to look it up in the notes because I wanted to know how he is spelling it. And it's not... you know what? I'm inclined to believe. I'm inclined to believe that a Skrull has stolen Kyle's body, and he's trying to perv the whole place up.
Yeah, it's Skryl over there.
Skryl. I find it really fun that Kyle inadvertently recreated 2020s. I think that was 2020s. Sonic Forces.
Yes, exactly. It's Sonic Forces.
Yeah, you really did just do Sonic Forces, but like that's what happens to Sonic. Like Shadow betrays him, and it's like, why? But that is the reveal that Shadow's actually a puppet by an interdimensional being named Infinity. But honestly, like pretty close.
That was all a misdirect, actually, Andrew. That was a misdirect by the Skrulls to throw the scent off of the real Skrull in the situation here. Sonic.
Which makes sense in the canon because Sonic Forces is poo-poo garbage. So
yeah.
That does actually all track.
That was a cover-up after Ugly Sonic almost revealed to the world the plan a bit too early. Before they could start going off. Yeah.
All right, Todd. What do we got? Let's get our dirty boy out here.
I'm so glad you asked. So,
I'm not.
As formerly alluded to, Skrulls are now, it's known, they're all over the Mushroom Kingdom, and they have been for years. Their master plan, Waluigi shares to you, is just to fill Mario Land up with some real nasty boys and gross the place all up. That's what they're trying to do.
That's nothing.
That's terrible.
So you might be saying, like, how is this possible? How on earth could this have just been happening in front of our own eyes? Well, Waluigi tells you that he was actually a renowned and beloved tennis star for years prior to coming to the Mushroom Kingdom, which was why he was recruited for his first canonical appearance in Mario Tennis. Mm-hmm. However, upon arriving and changing in the clubhouse, he was chloroformed and stashed into a stasis pod for decades before he managed to escape.
Space Jam style.
Yeah. Space Jam style, 100%. And during this like kidnapping, stealing, stasis podding, he overheard the Skrulls' plan to make the whole Mushroom Kingdom just way more pervier. He also saw that there are others down there, which, as he tells you, who else is down there, it makes way more sense. You know, down there in the perv pods, he saw his good friend, who canonically may not actually be his brother Wario. Wario is down there.
Unsure.
Yeah,
uncertain.
Unsure. Canonically gray. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, it's Wario from Wario Land. You know, Wario back when he was a muscly treasure hunter who fought pirates. Not like the spandex wearing, nose picking farty boy that we have now.
Can you cite your source on when? So wait, was Wario ever, like, this is a question from me, Matt, to you, Todd, out of the bit. Was Wario ever like a sculpted character?
Yes. So in Wario Land, 100%.
I'm gonna need some receipts here.
I'm fairly certain Wario Land is it's implied it's an embellishment on Wario's part.
Isn't that a collection of micro games?
No, Wario Land is a platformer. WarioWare.
You're thinking WarioWare. In Wario Land, you have two forms of attack. I think you get a butt thwomp too, but you get two forms of attack. You get a charging shoulder charge that goes through blocks. He can also pick up, and no, that's from Super Mario Land 3 when Wario's the bad guy.
Yeah, and he looks very sculpted here.
His first canonical appearance.
Let me go to...
He looks like a big doof-em-up.
I can't believe you're making me step away from my bit to look up a picture of Wario Land's cover where it's going to show Wario shoulder charging off of an island.
Wario the Adonis.
Todd, if you show us Wario with an Adonis belt, I'm getting up from my computer. You can finish the episode without me.
Yeah, we don't need sexy Wario on our podcast.
Todd, to you, Matt, will tell you that Wario gained abilities like a butt thwomp, and he could also shoulder charge through blocks, and he could shoulder charge, pick up, and throw enemies. Quite a different Wario than what we got in WarioWare Smooth Moves.
Okay.
Sure.
Anyway,
It's pretty weak, Todd.
it's a little insensitive that you interrupt Waluigi while he's talking to you about his trauma, but he's happy to share this
One of
story.
the Queen's own gentlemen, Waluigi.
So he says, yeah, like my who may be my brother or my friend Wario is down there. He also cited an intelligent professor, one known as Professor E. Gadd of Luigi's Mansion's franchise. He goes on to tell you that he saw him get captured, that apparently following the success of the first Luigi's Mansion before the most recent one, he must have gotten captured, which makes a lot of sense because the most recent one introduced Gooigi, and who would do that but a pervy alien trying to goop up the whole place with perv nastiness?
So you, Todd, are just saying that all Skrulls are pervs and they have come to ruin our neighborhood.
to perv up the place.
I wanna be
Drive
clear,
down housing
Waluigi-
prices and
Yeah.
corrupt your children.
Yeah.
What you said feels a little broad reaching. Now Waluigi is telling you that. I can't vouch for what Waluigi is telling you. It seems he did in fact say that Professor Egad, being a Skrull, has created a Gooigi, which we all know is an eldritch being of pure sleaze. So
How do we know this
I don't-
polished Waluigi isn't the Skrull, and our free living, fun loving Waluigi out in the real world is not the real one?
do you want to sleep at night thinking that the real Waluigi on our streets is the real Waluigi?
I have been so far, up
Yeah.
until
That
including
sentence
today.
means nothing.
He goes on and says, lastly, he said that he saw every single Koopa kid down there, that they had all been down there since Super Mario Brothers 3, because let's face it, after Super Mario Brothers 3, they all got a little pervy in some specific archetype way.
Okay.
And it's just a little weird. But he just, Waluigi just really drives it home that the plan of the Skrulls is just to make the world worse by making Mushroom Kingdom a bit more pervy, one snatched body at a time. And for some reason, you have to stop them, Andrew Henderson, I think.
that is what Nick Fury told me.
He also has a list of other Mario characters that are probably Skrulls, and they include Fawful and Prince Peasley, and honestly, all those bean pervs.
Honestly, all those beaten pervs.
The sexy hat ghost from Paper Mario.
Okay.
A full football team's worth of Charge and Chuck.
You are seriously getting into I don't like green M&M's territory. You can't just call every character you don't like a weird perv. I'm sorry, but
That's
you
true.
can't
You
do
can't
that.
do that.
The dopey lava dragon, 2/3 of the Isle of Delfino, great guy and maybe knife guy. He did make a point to say not Booster.
Great guy and knife guy are married. Everybody knows that. The dopey lava dragon is Ace. I'll thank you to be respectful of his choices.
Yeah, Booster is specifically not a Skrull. He is just born that way.
Booster's legit.
He's
We
just
all know
like that.
Yeah, Booster's a real one.
Waluigi says, and I quote, "That's just how he be." So yeah, Skrulls are trying to perv up the place, and you gotta stop him with Nick
All
Fury,
right.
Andrew.
Great.
Todd, it sounds a lot like you and gentleman Waluigi are just forcing your puritanical views on the free-loving Americans of Mario Kingdom, the free-loving Mario Kingdomians.
Wait until I tell you the horrible truth about Big the Cat, Kyle.
All right, it's time for prompt 3. So now that Nick Fury has fully asserted his dominance and is taking complete ownership of my couch, I've moved outside for a brief reprieve from the din of his old man sleep noises. Every once in a while, he'll sit up, look me straight in the face, and say, "Their weakness is gun," and then we'll conk back out. So I guess that means that the Skrull menace can be stopped by conventional means. So how will the non-alien characters of your video game sequel overcome their own Skrull menace? Or will they submit to their new cosmic overlords, Mass Effect style? Matt, I do want to point out here that in the notes, your answer is simply, "I didn't get this far." And I really appreciate the honesty here.
That's my answer in the notes you see, but the answer in my head, Andrew, is always evolving. So here's the deal.
Wonderful.
Right? Star Fox Adventure 2 is going to end the same way that Star Fox Adventure 1 did, with a big reveal that Andros is here, and nothing you did in the game really matters because the final fight is against Andros. Oh, by the way, remember Falco? He hasn't been in the whole game, but he's here now. He's your buddy, and he's going to help you out. And you and your buddy Falco are going to conquer Andros, and you're going to shoot him down, and you're going to be like, that's it. We got rid of Andros. And that's when the big reveal to Fox and the rest of Team Starfox happens, that Slippy Toad is in fact Scrippy Toad, because we the players found that out in Act 2, but the characters don't find that out until the very end climactic cutscene of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you defeat Andros with your buddy Falco. Andros like and falls or whatever, and then Scrippy Toad goes, "It's me, Slippy Toad," and I don't really remember how his voice sounds. And
you nailed it. Yeah,
you got it in one.
And he lands and he's like, here's the thing. I'm not actually Slippy Toad, I'm Scrippy Toad. And he turns back into a Skrull. And then he's like, I'm going to turn into the biggest Skrull head and hands you've ever seen. And he starts to morph into Scrandros. And while that is happening, all of the other dinosaur Skrulls on the planet that have been Skrulls the whole time start to morph back into their Skrull warrior form. And there they are surrounding you, your buddy Falco, your girlfriend Crystal, up against the walls of Dinosaur Planet when you hear, "Slippy here," and the real Slippy Toad and his pink frog wife Amanda fly in from off screen. And they say, "Guys, you've been on Dinosaur Planet for 2 games and you've never brought guns. You can bring guns now." And they throw down a bunch of blasters, and the weakness to Skrull is guns, and they blast all the Skrulls, and you shoot Scrandros, and then everybody goes home. Boom. End of game. Title screen. Starfox Adventures 2, Skrullectric Toad on crew.
Is Amanda's last name Toad?
I guess.
No, Slippy. Slippy.
No,
is.
she retains her maiden name in the marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, they're progressive.
Well, Amanda Smith.
No, it's Amanda Toad. You're right.
Is it?
Amanda Toad.
According to R-Wingpedia, it's Amanda Toad.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But anyway, I'll give it to you one more time. Starfox
we don't need it
Adventures
again.
2, Skrullectric Toad on crew.
You know, Matt, you've done a lot of those, and like, this
And
one
they're
might
really
be
good every
This
time.
one's a pretty big stretch.
Yeah,
this one was like
It's a slow burn.
yeah.
It's a real thinker.
No, I got it. I'm with Todd. The rubber band is about to snap. Like we really.
But that means it
really
hasn't
pulled it.
snapped yet.
No, it's not even that, Kyle. It's that the rubber band's been pulled so taut, it's not the same anymore.
Yeah.
Like you let it go back, and it's not really good at being a rubber band anymore.
Next.
Yeah, Andrew. So in Sonic Adventure 3, Sonic Secrets, players will play through a series of puzzles, platforms, and unlikely allies. Players will play through different chapters of our story as fan favorites like Knuckles, Tails, Big the Cat, Espio the Chameleon, Cream the Rabbit, Amy, who doesn't have a last name, Vector the Crocodile, and many, many,
Does
many...
Amy not have a the? Is she just?
I don't
she's
think
not
Amy
an
has
Amy
a the.
Amy.
I think
the
she's just
hammer.
Amy the Hedgehog. She's a hedgehog.
Yeah, I think she's a hedgehog.
But is she a the hedgehog?
That I don't know.
Wait, is the hedgehog a surname, or is it just a delineation of species?
It's the is like Von in German names. It means you came from hedgehog royalty.
Amy Rose. Amy Rose.
Amy Rose.
Amy
That's right.
Rose.
She's the only one who does have a surname.
Does have a real surname. All of these characters will be playable as players play through these levels to unveil the secret of the Skrull invasion and ultimately free Shadow the Hedgehog, the hero of our story. These characters' chapters will be intercut by Sonic levels, allowing players to play as the villain through some traditional gotta go fast 3D platforming as well. Eventually, Shadow will be released, confronting the imposter Sonic with the power of gun, as he did in his title game, Shadow the Hedgehog. We're calling back to that 2008 masterpiece. Players will then choose whether they would like to gun down the imposter or conquer the Earth in the ultimate showdown, choosing which anthropomorphic hedgehog or hedgehog-shaped alien they want to beat the game as, choosing the fate of humanity in the process. Mass Effect style.
Great. Got it. Okay. That's pretty fun. You get to reclaim your Shadow the Hedgehog glory days with the power of gun.
Yeah.
Not enough puns.
Yeah. Well,
That's
different.
Nick Fury leans forward and says,
He says, too many guns, not enough puns.
that's it.
If we hit too many puns, they're going to shut down our Zoom call, Matt.
Hold on. Sorry. What's that, Nick? What's that, Nick? Matt's thing is nothing. It sounds like Matt's thing is nothing. It sounds like Nick Fury thinks that Matt's thing is gobbledygook.
Yeah, well, Nick Fury needs to go touch grass.
Famously has not been on Earth and unable to touch grass. So
kind of the whole point of Secret Invasion. Todd, it's your turn now. You say words.
I was waiting for you to repackage the question again. Yeah, as Waluigi kind of trails out of telling you all the people and the things that are Skrulls that make more and more sense, he does level with you and says, there is only one way that we can stop them, and it's to pair people 1v1 or 2v2, 3v3, 4v4 as it needs to be through just a complex series of physical events, and we have to do it on the world stage. We have to make sure the whole world is watching to prove who is the real character and who is a Skrull. So he's going to need your help. We're going to have to put together just like a major feat of endurance and speed and strength through a number of events to weed out these pervert clones. The soonest that we can do this is next year, I think. And it's going to have to take place in Paris, France, because it's going to be the 2024 Winter Mario Skrullimpic Games is what we're going to have to do.
Okay, see, Skrullimpic Games is really good. I
Yeah.
really like
Good, Matt.
Skrullimpic Games.
It's not good at all.
I still can't believe we haven't heard Scrawluigi yet.
Yeah.
I'm better than that.
No, you're
Are
not.
you?
No, you're not.
No, I think I am.
We're-
I think I'm going to get to the end of
We've
this
been doing
without
this
it.
show for 6
Objectively
years.
say you think you are not.
You're
But
not
please
better
continue.
than that.
No, that's it. We are going
Okay.
to do the
Skrullimpics.
Skrullimpic Games.
Great.
The Skrullimpic, because I think 2024 is the Winter Games.
Scrollio and Sonic at the Scrollimpic Games.
2024
Yeah,
is
so-
the Summer Games.
It is a Summer Games, then never
Yeah.
mind then. So we're going to have to get, the way it's going to,
The Scrummer Games.
with the Scrummer Games, I don't like that. We're going to need Waluigi v. Skrull Waluigi doing the decathlon to really show you which one is the real.
Yeah, they have to win.
Waluigi.
They have to win the decathlon to save the community center.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, see, Nick Fury is nodding while pointing a gun.
Don't tell me. You don't tell me what Nick Fury is doing. He's asleep right now. Be kind. He's had a hard day.
He's been too busy touching grass.
He's out touching grass.
And planning the 2024 Scrubber Scrollimpics.
No,
Apparently.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to.
Well, guys, I think we can all safely agree that the one thing missing from Disney Plus's first season of Secret Invasion is that we didn't have Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury recite his classic catchphrase, as made famous by Snakes on a Plane, which is, of course, "I've had enough of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane." So,
It was a rights issue.
it was a rights issue. They just couldn't afford it with all that CG Trogdor arms. So we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, I'm going to ask you to explain to me the series of events that will cause Nick Fury to enter in your property and recite his famous line. And we will come back right after these messages. We are back. Once again, I am asking you all to lead me to the series of dominoes that will result in Nick Fury reciting Samuel L. Jackson's famous, "I've had enough of these motherfucking blank on this motherfucking blank." Let's start with you, Matt.
Yeah, Andrew. So let me give you a little background on the gameplay itself. I mentioned in question 1 that much like the first Star Fox adventures, players will fly in space a couple of times. And that couple of times will be to help transport survivors and refugees of Dinosaur Planet to Peak, the Sword Space Station. Yes, Sword from Marvel, the Sentient World Observation and Response Division, is going to be in this game because the Skrulls are here or whatever, right?
That's what they do.
Now, one of the people that will get rescued from Dinosaur Planet will be everyone's favorite character of the game and a person who has been run out of town specifically by the Skrull Dinosaur Planet leadership, the Shopkeeper. Does everyone remember the Shopkeeper from Starfox
From the
Adventure?
game no one played? Yeah, we all remember the Shopkeeper from the game we didn't play.
I played this game. I don't remember it, but if you put it, you might jog my memory.
Good.
What are you buying, right?
What
That
are you-
guy?
yeah,
What are
it's
you
from Resident
buying?
Evil.
Yeah, I just pasted a picture into the notes.
Okay, I do remember this. I legitimately remember this guy.
Important things to note.
God.
Thing number one, you can't buy things in this game. You have to barter price for everything. I don't know why, and it sucks. Thing two, this guy sounds like this. He sounds like this the whole time. And thing three, it's like they made a dinosaur from the torso up, and then we're like, we don't have enough time to make this character put a tail
We
on
don't
it.
have the
looks like a
budget for
ghost.
legs. He does look like a ghost.
Yeah.
Is he a snake? Is he supposed to be a snake?
He is only ever referred to in the game as, quote, a strange floating dinosaur.
Okay.
But
Great.
while he is on the Sword space station, he will help. He will show the people of Sword that the people of Dinosaur Planet want to help, want to aid, and he will stand in as a barista on the onboard Starbucks of the Sword space station. But every time someone orders coffee from him, he still is like, how many scarabs? Let's barter for a deal. How much would you like to pay? And one day, Nick Fury will come up and try to buy a coffee, and he'll be like, how much do you want to pay for this coffee? And Nick Fury will be like, I'm tired of this motherfucking snake on this motherfucking plane. We got there.
All right.
Oh, wait, so this thing is a snake now.
It is now. I mean,
Yeah.
Fair.
I said, isn't it a snake? And then you said, no, Kyle, it's a floating dinosaur. And now it's a snake again.
well, we know it's a floating dinosaur, but I don't think Nick Fury knows that.
I don't think we get to decide what
That
Nick Fury
was
knows.
the longest walk to just the shortest drink of water. Just
In the rubber band metaphor, your rubber band snapped, I think.
This is not worse than what Matt said to start.
all right,
This
Kyle.
was
Let's
different.
test out your rubber band, Kyle. What do you got?
Yeah, so in the third act reveal, the top of the third act is gonna reveal to all of our player characters after the Act 2 wrap of freeing Shadow, but it's a bit too late, and the plan to use all 7 Chaos Emeralds to take over the world has begun. It's started. Top of Act 3, enter Nick Fury into our game, and all our player characters are standing on Dr. Robotnik's ship. They're surrounded by Skrulls. All looks lost. When Nick Fury, looking around, assessing the situation, says, "Enough is enough! I have had it with these motherfucking Skrulls on this motherfucking ship." And he presses a big red button and calls in an airstrike or something, and our heroes are saved to begin the Act 3 victory, turn the tides from Nick Fury's calling in backup.
Okay.
I don't think Kyle put as much care and thought into his answer as I did.
It feels like,
Sometimes that's not better, Matt.
it feels like the Michael Scott quote of sometimes I start a sentence without knowing where it's going to go.
But I did catch up to it by the end.
He did.
got there.
He got there. All right, Todd.
Yeah.
I'm not serving up the question again. You know what the question is.
Okay, so in search of rooting out all the perverts, because remind you, that's what we're doing here today. We, and by we I mean you, because remember, this is you. You find yourself on Isle Delfino, a land notorious for perverts, just rife with them. So
You can't say that.
You can't say that.
I didn't say it. Waluigi said it.
All right, guns don't kill people, bullets do. Got it.
So as you, Nick Fury, and Waluigi depart on the Toad Express and fly away and hit cruising altitude, you begin to hear noises in the cargo bay of the plane. So you do the heroic thing and you check it out. The group of you, the three of you, you and your best friends Waluigi and Nick Fury, and you go to the cargo bay and you find a bunch of boxes of oranges that you don't remember packing. And at that point, one by one, they reveal themselves to not be boxes of oranges, but instead be boxes of trained ex-military assassins who all look identical, armed with grenades and rocket launchers. And at that point, Samuel L. Fury cocks his gun, lowers his eyes, and says, "I've had enough of these motherfucking solid snakes on this motherfucking plane." Curtain falls, I guess.
I think this one's my fault. I think I am responsible for this.
You wanted this too bad.
I wanted it. I wanted it too bad. I much like Icarus flew too close to the sun, and now I have fucked around, and I have to subsequently find out. So let's just move on and get some closing statements.
Yeah, Andrew, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I made a Starfox adventure game, but think about it, man. The year is 2023. We just got Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom, or whatever that game is called.
Electric Boogaloo.
And everybody loved it. We have gotten to a place where Nintendo knows how to make a Zelda game. So when they made Star Fox Adventure 1 and hard ripped off Twilight Princess, they made a bad game because Twilight Princess is a bad game. But Tears of the Kingdom is a good game. And if they rip that off, Star Fox Adventure 2, good game. I'd also like to point out what I didn't do. And what I didn't do is make Crystal, the weirdly attractive fox girl, a Skrull.
The nexus point, the birth of furry culture.
Yeah.
Nor did I do anything gross and pervy with Skrull Crystal. So you're welcome for that.
That's something.
That is
You could have
something.
given her a Trogdor arm.
I could have given her a Trogdor arm.
That is one instance where you are a better man than Bobby Ikes. All right, Kyle, what's your closing statement?
Yeah, Andrew, we all know from the run up to the 2020 movie Sonic the Hedgehog that Sonic the Hedgehog is currently kidnapped, imprisoned, and replaced with the Skrull Sonic. That is undeniable proof, as revealed in that awful trailer that fans thought had to be sent back to the animators. In reality, the Skrull Sonic, I will say it again, Sonic, had to relearn the Sonic form, if you will. I have brought the only game revealing secret facts, revealing real truths today. Todd and Matt brought nice fiction stories that sound great, but one is real and true.
All right, Todd, slop them up.
Your argument is that you're getting... Sorry, I'm not supposed to give feedback on closing statements. That's okay. Go ahead, Todd.
No, I'm also not cool with Kyle saying Tim Robinson is a Skrull. Tim Robinson, voice of Ugly Sonic. That's for Andrew to parse through. Listen, Kyle may have said, like, we've given you these weird stories, whatever. I'm telling you that there's an explanation for all the pervs in Mushroom Kingdom. Now, you may be wondering who else might be Skrulls in the Mushroom Kingdom. I've got a short list.
You may be wondering how I can back this up.
Most shy guys, but not all shy guys. Luigi during his mysterious Mr. L phase. Lanky Kong, that one's been known. Cat Mario. Boshi. Baby Mario, but not Baby Luigi. Wingo the giant bird from Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. The angry sun that chases you. And this one may not come as a surprise. For years, King Bob-omb, which explains his unknown intentions for his sovereign kingdom.
Todd is just reading the notes from the latest town hall, the rantings of the citizens at the latest town hall of Mushroom Kingdom.
He's just on the Debate This wiki.
Yeah.
My children won't pick up my phone calls anymore. I do not live here.
My TV is stuck on Mushroom Kingdom Fox News.
You know, Andrew, you have a choice today. If you want to address the pervs of Mushroom Kingdom, you can. This can be the nexus point that you choose to break. It's not an absolute truth. you can take care of this with your new friend Waluigi.
Cool. Well, much like Emilia Clarke's trogdor arms, let's let this topic kind of walk away into the sunset, never to be seen again, huh?
Fair.
So let's do some good vibes.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm not going to lie. I think Sonic is probably the best Skrull name that has come up in this podcast. I think that that's really funny. And as much as I downplayed it for the sake of the bit, I'm very impressed with just, like, literally just those 6 letters in that order really gets me. And I think that's very funny. I also love that we get to use Shadow has a gun as a canonical solution to a problem again. That's really fun to me. Todd, man, I didn't see the Skrull episode getting us to Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games, but I'm sure glad it did.
The
That's
Skrull
real fun.
Olympic Games.
The Skrull Olympic Games.
I also like that you have established a voice for Waluigi in the Debate This Canon, and anytime he is referenced, henceforth, I will require you to do the same voice.
Same.
Because I am a fancy gentleman. I think that's what I did.
He's getting a
40
little
minutes
bit more
ago. I'm not sure.
transatlantic
Yeah.
as the time goes on.
He might be directing a circus in the 50s. I'm not sure.
You'll find it. You'll find it
Yeah.
before we
Yeah.
before
It'll
we have
settle
to
in.
do it again. Yeah, Matt, I do really like the tie to like Starfox, a spacefaring game using the Skrulls. I like trying to redeem Starfox adventures. Scrippy and General Skrulls are fine. Fine Skrull names. And I do appreciate that you didn't do anything upsetting with Crystal, having course corrected for the times. Thank you. Todd, you called a lot of things perverts, and that was a choice. I do like the idea that Waluigi is actually a refined gentleman, and a alien imposter has been trashing his reputation
Besmirching his name.
since his first appearance in Mario Tennis. I do disagree with you that Wario was ever a built, muscular man, but that isn't the topic here today.
Yeah, we still haven't seen
Yeah.
source on
We'll
that.
save that for a future episode.
Yeah, he had heft. We can talk about that in the post show. I don't want to just repeat everything that Kyle said about you, Matt, but he did hit the best thing for the crime that was Scrippy Toad.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled that you didn't talk about like Crystal's feet.
Thanks.
Because we couldn't get this game now. We couldn't get this game now without screenshots of Crystal's feet. And I'm thrilled that that wasn't anything that I had to reckon with today.
There would have been like a subreddit, Are Crystal's Feet?
Did you guys know that in the cutscene, and we'll talk about this more in the post show, I swear to God, but in the cutscene when Fox first encounters Crystal, they play like Kenny G sexy sax music real loud over everything.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can keep saying nice things about me, Todd.
No, it's fine. The only other thing I was really going to say is I'm glad you picked this game because when did this game come out?
2000. That's an answer that I should know.
01 or 02.
2002.
2002. Yeah, so I've not thought about that game for 21 years. And so that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know, when we do things like this and a game shows up that I'm like, oh, I remember that. And I purposely tried to forget about it. That's always fun. Kyle, the revisionist history that everything bad about Sonic has always been a Skrull is great. Like ugly Sonic with the teeth, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic when he traveled through time.
Yes.
Like all things.
The werehog. All
Yes.
Skrull ploys. Yes.
I would
Skrull
argue
ploys.
that the werehog was one of the better things to happen to Sonic in the last 20 years.
Probably.
I don't know if I would agree with that statement, but I like the thought that that's the explanation. Hot take for this episode. I didn't love Sonic. I kind of hated Sonic, but I respect that you did it.
You respect
you
the
did it.
game enough to give me the win still? Is that what it is?
I was gonna make a pretty concerted effort to not do Skrull puns outside of Skrull Olympic Games, and it felt like Matt went whole hog on it. I went 0, and you split the uprights right down the middle and like did just enough.
Half hog.
Half hog.
You went half hog. Matt went full werehog. And you went partial.
You never go full werehog.
You never go full werehog.
Well, guys, I'm going to be honest. This one is going to be a tough decision. So I really couldn't get Nick Fury to focus on any one of your answers. And Todd, when you were talking about the pervasive culture of the Mushroom Kingdom, Nick Fury just refused to accept that Boshi was a perv. Nick Fury, weirdly, like really into Boshi, he just kept running around going bow, 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 bow. And it was like, right? Nick, man, I'm gonna need you to focus, dude. Kyle, Nick Fury, like, I don't know what he was roaring at the idea that Sonic Unleashed is one of the quote bad games. He just on and on about, well, the day levels are some of the best level design in any 3D Sonic. The Werehog, the night sections aren't that bad. It's no better or worse than God of War 3. I don't know, man. Just like, Nick, come on, dude. And Matt, this guy, Nick Fury, just refused to admit that Starfox Adventures is a he just kept going on and on about how this was the death of Rare, and after that is Starfox Adventures is the whole reason that Microsoft bought Rare, and then we got grabbed by the ghoulies. Nick Fury, I don't care about grabbed by the ghoulies. You gotta stop, man. I just need an answer. And here's the thing. I did get a page after he jumped out of my window. There was a brief 2 words on my pager, and those 2 words are Skrullfox Adventures.
Yes!
Oh,
and with that, we're going to declare Matt the winner for today's event.
God, yes, this is so fucking vindicating.
Also, this jacked Wario who looks like a Street Fighter character is gracing my notes. And with that, I'm going to close us out. Thanks, everyone, for listening to Debate This. You can follow along with the arguments on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at DebateThisCast, or on our website at debatethiscast.com. Have you heard about our Patreon page at patreon.com/debatethiscast? Well, sure you have, but hey, I'm going to tell you about it again anyway. We have a Patreon, and for the low price of $5 a month, you too can call yourself one of the few, the proud, the #ButtBomb Nation. With your monthly membership, you'll get access to our exclusive premium feed, which includes ad-free episodes of Debate This and Flavor Text, and our monthly Patreon show, The Office Drones, which, as of when this episode comes out, we'll have one more episode before we wrap forever. That's it. You're never, ever going to hear another episode with the Office Drones. And I will say that. I will take that to my grave after this episode next week.
We're going to pull a WB and take them off all streaming services.
Yeah, right. A real max
pirate them now.
But even if you join for even 1 month and then bop out the next month, you'll get full access to the entire backlog of our premium feed content. So check it out. Until next time, I'm Andrew Henderson.
I'm Matt. You can spend your Scrippy at the company Toad, Cole.
There we go.
I'm Kyle. Shadow's got a gun. Harper.
And I'm Todd. Sonic Skrull Adventure, Too Fast, Too Nick Furious, Thomas.
And we're saying thanks for debating with us. And if you think we're wrong, you can come fight us behind the swing sets, nerds.